when a poor girl was cleaning for a wealthy household. She was drawn to a pair of luxury red high heels on the floor, so she secretly tried them on. Her long repressed vanity was instantly satisfied. This even made her want to take the place of the owner of the shoes. Not long ago, Yumi had her fake identity of a top university student exposed by her boyfriend. Her boyfriend left her behind and went abroad alone. Yumi left the airport in embarrassment, dragging her luggage. Yet more misfortunes were waiting for her ahead. She just woke up when she received another devastating news. Her father had passed away in the early morning, so she rushed back to her hometown immediately. The moment she saw the portrait of her late father, she could no longer hold back her tears. It turned out her father had worked himself to the bone to fund her study abroad, which had caused him to develop cancer long before. But to avoid ruining the future of his daughter, he insisted on not going to the hospital for treatment. After Yumi finished arranging the funeral of her father, she decided to sell the tailor shop that her father cherished more than anything. While sorting through the belongings of her late father, she was shocked to discover, to fund her education, the family had long been drowned in debt. Sure enough, the creditors came to the door right away to demand repayment. With no other choice, Yumi settled her mother, who suffered from dementia, and decided to go back to Seoul alone to make money. Back in Seoul again, Yumi fell completely to the bottom of the society. She was determined to turn her life around by passing the civil service exam, but she did not even have enough money for cram school tuition, so she had to work multiple part-time jobs day and night. She worked as a receptionist at a parking lot during the day, and worked around the charcoal grill at a barbecue restaurant all night. She collapsed straight into bed after work every single day. To make it to work on time, Yumi could only eat a steamed bun during her work break when she was hungry. While working at the barbecue restaurant, she watched people of her age chatting and laughing in glamorous outfits. She could only keep her head down and work non-stop cleaning. Until one day, she was harassed by a drunk man at a convenience store. His words mocking her as a penniless loser made Yumi lose all her self-respect. Right at that moment, Yumi accidentally came across a job posting online, which became the turning point of her entire life. A high-end furniture gallery called Murray was hiring a maid. To survive, she immediately got on a bus to go for the interview, but she never expected the workplace was actually on the top of a mountain. Wearing high heels, Yumi could only grit her teeth and climb the steep slope step by step with great difficulty. On the other side, Hyunju, the wealthy heiress, rode in a luxury car and arrived at the top of the mountain effortlessly. As it turned out, this Hyunju was exactly the daughter of the owner of the place where Yumi was having her interview. She was the one who interviewed all the maid candidates. Yumi waited anxiously in the room, but Hyunju was on a phone call and completely ignored her as if she was thin air. The inherent sense of superiority from her stabbed Yumi right in the heart in an instant.
아, 맞다. 나 기다렸잖아.
Luckily, Yumi passed the interview successfully. Here, Yumi was nothing but a servant who did all the chores and even hand-washed the underwear of Hyunju. Later, the owner of the house saw the resume of Yumi and could not help mocking her. The face of the owner was filled with contempt and said outright that he only let it go for the sake of his daughter Hyunju. In this wealthy circle, even a random chair on the floor was worth tens of millions of Korean won. Yumi silently memorized the brands and prices of all these furniture pieces. When no one was watching, she secretly sat on the expensive sofa to feel it for a moment. The wife of the owner prayed silently every time she invited friends over for dinner. Then she would hint to Yumi to hold an exquisite and luxury handbag as a gift for those friends. All the efforts the madam put in were only in the hope that these friends could help her find a son-in-law who was a doctor.
그렇게 소원이면 의사 사위 말고 의사를 키우시지 그랬어요.
어머나, 그렇게 힘든 거를 내 자식한테 어떻게 시켜요?
그래, 의사 변호사는 만드는 게 아니라 쓰는 거였어.
그래. 그게 맞네.
그래요.
Yumi stood aside listening to all these words and felt nothing but extreme irony. Hyunju, who had just come back from the US, bought handbags as casually as if she was buying groceries. She even gave Yumi her leftover unwanted lipsticks like she was doing charity. But when Yumi turned them down, Hyunju said in a condescending tone,
좀 이쁘게 좀 하고 다녀. 이거 다 좋은 거야.
Yumi could only take them obediently and thank her. To pay for the insurance and medical treatment of her mother, Yumi started working here full-time. One day, Yumi, the maid, went to the mansion of Hyunju to pick up clothes. The moment she stepped through the door, she was filled with envy at all the luxury furniture in the house. Not to mention the stunning view outside. The floor-to-ceiling windows left her completely stunned. Later, when she walked into the walk-in closet to get the clothes, her gaze was immediately locked on a pair of luxury red high heels. When there was no one around, she could not resist the temptation and put on the high heels. Looking at her glamorous self in the mirror, her vanity was greatly satisfied in that moment. But the next second reality hit her hard in the face, reminding her she was nothing but a maid serving a wealthy heiress. Right at that moment, Hyunju threw her a flirty glance. All that rose up in the heart of Yumi was injustice and disgust. Day after day, Yumi climbed the steep slope to go to work, but her salary could never add up to enough for her tuition. When she was tired, she could only collapse on the ground to catch her breath while taking out the trash. Soon, a year passed. She went to pick up documents and found Hyunju completely drunk. Hyunju told her to open the safe herself, and also told Yumi that the personal documents inside the safe could all be used by Yumi to apply for loans in her name.
신용카드 비번 알지? 공인인증서 왜?
The several diplomas from top universities casually discarded inside the safe door came into her view. These were the things she had been dreaming of her whole life, yet here they were worth nothing. Before she left, Hyunju casually gave her a luxury watch as a tip. To match this watch, Yumi bit the bullet and spent a huge sum of money on a designer scarf.
62만 1,000원 결제 도와드리겠습니다. 할부하시겠습니까? 아니요. 일시불이요.
At night, Yumi received a call from Hyunju, ordering her to come pick her up right away. But when she arrived at the destination, Hyunju was still chatting and laughing with her friends. Hyunju ordered a steak for Yumi in the corner of the high-end restaurant. On the way back, Hyunju said casually that she would rent out the shop after she got married. Yumi said she was worried about losing her job, only to be mocked by Hyunju, who said it was because her education level was too low. Right after that, she received a text from her mute mother back in her hometown hoping she would come home. Yumi asked her boss for leave the next day, only to be yelled at fiercely by her boss, who complained that she was lazy, stupid, and had a low education level. She could only go back to her workstation in frustration. On the other side, Hyunju was bored of this place and asked Yumi to book a plane ticket to Paris for her to travel, and whined about how pitiful she was with nothing to do. Yumi felt nothing but extreme irony listening to this. Staring at the passport on the table, a crazy idea popped up in her mind. Later, Hyunju planned to go out with a male friend and asked Yumi not to tell her mother about this. Looking at the expression on the face of Yumi, Hyunju thought she was worried about her.
모임에서 만났는데 심각한 사이 아니야?
기사님 걱정을 하겠어요.
Hyunju was not angry at first, but when Yumi handed her the passport, she deliberately pushed the passport on the table onto the floor and yelled at Yumi for being insensitive. Yumi squatted down silently. When Yumi left, Hyunju even talked bad about her behind her back.
친하게 하는데 못돼.
While the employer family was out, all the maids gathered together for a meal. Everyone was complaining about the family. They sell fake goods while looking down on people with low education. Yumi stayed silent, picked up the red wine on the table and drank it all in one gulp.
그 소리를 듣고 하루 종일 생각해봤는데
저번에도 누나 고졸이라고 막 인신공격하고.
그렇게 배우신 분들이 나 남대문 시장에서 떼운 물건
말 조심해.
The housekeeper thought it was normal. Late at night, Yumi stared at the Christmas tree. She finally made up her mind to get revenge on Hyunju. She left with the passport, clothes, and bags of Hyunju, and finally caught the last bus back to her hometown. The next day, she stayed by the side of her mother. When her mother went to make breakfast, she looked at the 22 missed calls from the housekeeper on her phone. Yumi blocked all of them without hesitation, when she suddenly saw the phone number of her senior Jaewon. So an idea popped up in her mind. She then asked Jaewon out to meet for a meal. When they met again, Jaewon thought she had just come back from the US, and was amazed that she had become so calm that she could barely recognize her. After learning that Yumi was looking for a job, Jaewon immediately recommended a job at an art academy.
뭔데요? 그 유학유수라는 93학번 언니가 있는데 학원이 되게 커 유명하고 너 학위가 미대라며.
Back home, Yumi forged her academic credentials and picked up the passport and diplomas of Hyunju from the trash can. Looking at all these items, a brand new and bold plan fully took shape in her mind. At this moment, she decided to completely abandon her past and rewrite her life with the identity of Hyunju.